we stop, we gon' get it done. Get it when we start, we gon' get it done. Start when we stop, we gon' get it done. Anthony's World.
What's going on, everyone? I'm Anthony. You know me as Anthony's World, and we are back on another episode of the Living Icon podcast. We're still here in Miami, and I'm not gonna lie, this man doesn't need an introduction, but I'm gonna give him one because it's crazy. Mr. Movie Star Body, creating the Kinobody, Mr. Gallagher.
What's going on, man?
Man, vibing and thriving and living the best life, man.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm pumped to be here. This is a sick setup.
Appreciate that. How are you doing? How's life, man?
Life is good. You know, I've just been I've been spending a little bit of time in Toronto, where I'm from.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm always really happy to be back in Miami. I love the energy here.
It is a good energy, isn't it?
It is.
There's an aura here that just like motivating.
There is like this crazy aura. You know, I first came, spent serious time here, you know, a couple years ago when Toronto was shut down, and just, yeah, I feel like euphoric here in Miami.
Love that. Are you gonna move here?
I'm looking at moving here in the fall. Yeah.
Like full time, or are you gonna
full time?
Yeah. Hey, man, we have to come into the office a lot more often.
100%.
Maybe we can do some business together too.
Yeah,
you know,
sick.
have some fun stuff. So, what's it like? You know, What's it like? What's your day to day in the life of Mr. Grego and the founder of Kinobody? What is that like?
Yeah, you know what? I have a very, you know, unorthodox kind of lifestyle. The first thing is that I'm not up early. I know there's a lot of early birds that are up at like 5:30, 6 a.m. Mm-hmm. I wake up around 11 a.m. I'm a night owl. I stay up pretty late, so I'm up at 11. I spend probably the first 30 to 60 minutes, I don't look at my phone. I'll do a little bit of meditation. I'll get like clear. I find this makes a massive difference. Most people, even everyone listening right now, they wake up and boom, they got their phone hitting them, notifications, and you lose that ability to be really focused and take control of the day. You start getting into reactive mode. And so when I wake up and I take 30 to 60 minutes to myself, it sets the stage for an awesome day. It could be 15 minutes if you're packed with time, but having a little bit of time to yourself is very, very good.
I need to implement that.
Yeah.
I literally like wake up and I'm like laying in bed like this. Scroll.
Well, you know what?
But like, you know, going through my messages.
Like here's the thing. Like when you have really good momentum and you're crushing business, you know, your fitness is dialed, everything's going well, you can kind of get away with breaking the rules. But for like the person that's just lost a bit of momentum, they're kind of stuck, you need to make like these strong the mandatories to really get, like, because once you have really, really good momentum, you can kind of be a bit more relaxed.
Love that.
Yeah, same with fitness and business. But yeah, I've been there too, where I've been a little more relaxed, but I had such good momentum that it was fine. But then eventually, as stresses kind of come on, then you can kind of fall off a little bit. But so then then I'll just start jumping into work. You know, I'll start either filming content, I'll talk with my team. I got a few hours of meetings every day, and I still try and maintain like a nice lifestyle. I'll get my like 10K steps in. I like to actually go outside and just get that early morning sunlight. I find it helps the sleep later on. But every day can be a little bit different. Like a couple days a week, I'll do more shoots, content. We'll do like fun lifestyle footage. And then just some days I'm just kind of on meetings and kind of chilling.
So your program, I've actually followed it before, and your program actually is based around and fits the person that has a busy, active lifestyle, that's super active, super busy, and just like super out there. And like, did you create that on purpose for that, or like did you just find that it works best for you and then you kind of molded it to that?
Yeah, it's the second one. So basically, I was always very in love with fitness, and fitness was my passion. And sometimes I used to like lift weights, you know, 4 or 5 days a week and do high intensity interval training a few days a week. And I started just following my progress, tracking every single workout. And I noticed when I strength trained 3 days a week instead of 4 or 5 or 6, I had so much better recovery. I made better gains. My physique hardened up. And so I kind of took that stance of less is more, especially for the natural lifter. Trying to go heavy and hard and push yourself 5, 6 days a week, it's a losing proposition for the natural. So I actually made my best gains on 3 days a week. And so I didn't necessarily do it because, like, for me, I always want to get the best possible results. Yeah. I want to, you know, I'm willing.
That's why we're doing it.
Exactly.
That's why we're doing it.
You know, I'm willing to put in the work to get the best possible results. And it just so happened that I found out that less is more. Now I actually train twice a week. I lift weights twice a week. And I've actually been able to like do very, very well with 2 days a week. I think that's better for guys that have already, spent years building strength on 3 days. Put in the foundation. But 2 days I like, especially when I'm cutting. My appetite's lower.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. But you're also you have an active lifestyle though too. Like you said, you're getting 10,000 steps in. Like you're active.
You know what? I'm not as active as people think. I post these videos on Instagram, like punching a bob. I'll do that for like 3 minutes. I'll do it for one quick, like little 15-second video. I'll do it for 3 minutes. I'll do it like once or twice a week. There's times when I've done more boxing and done a few hours of boxing every week, but like most of the time, I literally just hit the gym hard twice a week. I try and, because I'm on meetings, I'm working all the time. I just force myself to just get some steps in, and that's it. Like
Love that.
Yeah, I'm not as active as people think. I'm not doing like 2 hours of jiu-jitsu and kickboxing, and like, it's very limited. I just kind of get my steps in and do 2 lifts a week.
I've noticed for me, as of recently, because I actually gained a bunch of weight when I started like making more success, and you're going out, you're drinking, you're eating, you're having fun, you're doing all this other stuff, and I actually noticed I was gaining some bad weight, it was hard for me to stay consistent because like I was back into the fitness industry back in the day. I almost competed in a show, like I was doing well, and in the fitness space, and then I realized is like when I built all these companies, it was too hard for me, and then I would go in the gym one day and I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna destroy my chest, and then I'd be so burnt out for days. And then I was like, so like as of recently, what I've noticed for me that's really helping, number one is the fasting. I do the fasting, and then number 2, only lifting. I lift 4 days a week. Nice. And that's like, but for me, it's like it's more of like a mental thing because I do sit down a lot, but like I lift 4 days a week, and it's just like it's simple. It's push. I do a push day, a pull day, a leg day, and then a like active fun
free for all, have fun kind of day.
Like some days I might go in there and I might just do fucking lateral raises and curls. Yeah. But something just to get myself moving. And
that's actually, it's funny you actually say that because, I do the 2 like intense formal workouts, and then once in a blue moon, if I'm feeling it and I'm like, you know what, I really want to hit the gym today, I'll go and have like a fun day and just kind of hit some arms or go with the flow. It's actually kind of nice when you've been lifting for, 10 plus years to kind of give yourself like one day to just kind of have some,
Because, at the end of the day, like a lot of people associate the gym with being, like, not fun or being hard and being intense. But it's also at the same time, for me, it's kind of like, I find it fun now. I find it fun. Genuinely, I find it fun. And, I've been working on my physique. Like I said, I gained a bunch of weight. But I've lost about 15 pounds recently.
Nice.
In the last, I would say the last, month and a half, 2 months, I lost about 15 pounds. And I feel great. I feel better. And I just need to cut back on the drinking.
Yeah.
I'm working on that, though. It's just my lifestyle, though. Like, it's been hard for me. Like, when you go to business meetings and everyone's like, oh, I'll take a tequila. And I'm like, shit, here goes another tequila. And then, I have a really high tolerance. So, I just don't. You know what I mean? I love this.
Yeah, alcohol's an interesting one where you can actually get very lean having some alcohol. People don't realize this, but it's tricky.
Okay.
It can be very, very tricky. For example, most times people gain weight from alcohol. It's actually they eat more food on top of it. They stay up later. Now it's 2:30 in the morning. They're hungry, so they eat extra calories. If you just stick to tequila and soda and keep the calories, that's you. Yeah,
that's all I drink is tequila and soda water.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, unless you're going doing a lot of shots, which maybe you are.
Last night we did by accident. But yeah, typically that's all I drink is tequila and soda water with lime.
That's perfect. Yeah, if you can just keep your food calories very on point and just kind of slow pace the alcohol a little bit,
That's actually one thing I noticed that was big for me is that I used to drink a lot of beer, and that's actually one of the big things I would say that helped me lose a lot of weight is I cut out beer pretty much completely, and I went to tequila and soda water. But I also noticed that 1 glass of tequila with soda water, I drink a lot slower than a beer. Like at dinner, I'd have 5 or 6 beers.
Right.
And they're lighter beers, but still that's 100 calories each one. And then I noticed that I'd be forcing myself to finish my second tequila.
Right.
Before we left.
Right.
So it slowed me down a lot. It slowed me down. And that was something that was, I'd say, is big.
Yeah, if you really love a certain kind of alcohol and it's very tasty for you, that can be dangerous.
I love tequila, though. Yeah. That's my favorite.
Yeah,
it's the only upper?
It's the only upper. I know, I'm a big tequila fan. I used to do more.
What's your tequila choice?
What was that?
Tequila choice.
I haven't been crazy into specific tequilas, but
I'm about to show you some stuff.
What's yours?
I drink 1942.
You like it? Okay, nice.
I pretty much only drink 1942 though.
You like that more than Clase Azul?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We've been to a lot of restaurants where we've pretty much been the only one that finishes bottles of 1942
Shit.
there. Like in Scottsdale, like we have certain restaurants we go to, and they're like, y'all are the only ones that, they drink the tequila.
Nice.
I
I like to, especially like if you have like a couple like tequilas like kind of during the day on a boat, nice beautiful day. It hits so much better than at night.
A little bit of lime. I do.
Yeah.
I like cucumbers in there. Throw some cucumbers in there, some salt, and a little bit of black pepper, and some tequila, lime, and all that. Oh my god.
Yeah, you know, one of the actually the biggest issues with alcohol and fat loss is actually not what people think. The issue is that, especially as you get older, as you get to 30, your 30s, if you have a big night of drinking, you know, even if you have like eight or nine drinks, right? The next day, because you're hungover, your energy levels are a lot lower. One of the most powerful mechanisms of fat loss is called NEAT. It's your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It's not going to the gym, doing cardio for an hour. It's you naturally moving around day to day, whether you're fidgeting, you're pacing around, you're moving around, you're interactive. Like some people, like people that have fast metabolisms, they're very dynamic.
Yeah.
They're sitting in class and they're doing this and they're just moving. Their body wants to burn. And so when you're hungover, your NEAT drops down a ton, and you're lazier. You're not moving as much, and then you're hungover. So maybe you're craving more food, and it's actually a lot of times it's the next day that kills the fat loss.
Interesting. So I'm actually like, this is something that like Conrad always says about me. It's very weird. Is like if I get hungover, like if I don't really
You force yourself to like.
I know I literally have the best workouts after I drink.
Interesting.
The next day, like he literally calls me. He's like, dude, you're fucking crazy. Like we'll go out, we'll party till like 2 or 3 in the morning. At like 8 and 9 o'clock in the morning, I'll be at the gym. I'll be at the gym and I'll fucking sweat and I'll go hard. And he's like, dude, he's over here like this. And I'm at the gym, like, and I don't know, I force myself, like, if I get hungover, I'm at the gym.
It's a weird phenomenon. There is a thing of people hitting personal records hungover. I used to kind of do that, where sometimes you have your best lift. Now, you can't be, like, completely destroyed hungover where you're literally lying down in your shower. Like, you can't have one of those hangovers. But if you have, a little bit hungover, sometimes, like, because you go in, you just don't really expect anything. You're like, you just kind of force yourself to go, but your expectations aren't super high. You can hit PRs. Now, I will say that, like, something happens from 27, 28 to, like, 30, 31, where
it's a little less.
It's the hangovers get a bit worse.
Interesting.
A bit worse, yeah.
I'm curious to see.
I haven't hit any crazy hungover PRs in a while.
So I actually have this weird theory, because for some reason I used to be a big beer drinker, and I would literally drink 2 beers before I went work out. Like on an empty, I'm on a fast. I would drink 2 beers, lighter beers, and then I would go into the gym and I would have the best pumps. I don't know what it was about that for me. 2 beers, not any more than that, no, but 2 beers, and then I'd have the best pumps, and then I'd do 1 beer, not all the time, but like I've done it, and then I'd have a beer immediately after the gym, and then my muscles would stay full, and I was able to eat more. I don't know why.
I can't endorse this, but I can't endorse it, but I will say, alcohol is also, again, it's very, very interesting. There's some research that shows that when you have a low dose of alcohol, like 2 or 3 drinks, you can actually get a temporary spike in testosterone. Now, when you drink a lot,
obviously,
there can be a very strong decline. Now, the other thing about alcohol is that if you do have 2 drinks, alcohol can actually be a vasodilator. If you get very lean, you have a glass of red wine, you can see your veins pop out. But if you drink, more than, a low dose of alcohol, then it becomes a vasoconstrictor. That's also why it's common for men to complain that, like, oh, they drank too much, they have whiskey dick.
Yeah.
So, but a small amount of alcohol can actually be a vasodilator and improve blood flow. But the problem with beer, again, is you are getting, and the carbs can be maybe beneficial for your workout, but the problem with beer is that it's high in estrogen, so it's got a compound.
The gluten, right?
Or sorry, what was that?
The gluten, is it from the gluten?
No, it's from the plant, the plant hops, which are estrogenic. So if you're doing a lot of beer, especially on a regular basis, you are like pretty much exposing yourself to higher amounts of estrogen.
I love this, man. This dude's fucking so smart over here. This dude's so smart. I love it. We're talking about alcohol. Man, I appreciate it, man.
Well, this is a
awesome.
big, it's a big thing right now. So basically, in the last 4 decades, since the 80s, men's testosterone levels are down 40%. So they're down a lot, and we haven't even seen it plateau. So that means that in another 2-3 decades, it could be even worse.
Yeah.
So you have to be really careful about, what you're exposed to on a daily basis.
I love that. Now we're gonna get into the questions.
Sure.
Because those were my personal questions, because I'm a big believer in you have to have a balanced lifestyle.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna get into the questions, but please, while you're waiting for this, go ahead and subscribe. I appreciate that. So, how did you find the fitness at such a young age? Like, what made you like? Because I've heard of stories of like I have friends and stuff. They're like, they were like, well, I was really overweight, so I decided to lose a bunch of weight. Like, did you just love the fitness, or did you play sports?
The seed was planted for me at a very, very young age. Like one, I always, when I was 5 or 6 years old, I liked action figures. I had a whole box of action figures, like a jacked and all these action figures in the 90s, they're all like super jacked. I had a Batman one, I had like this brick bazooka. I had these action figures, and my father and I, we love watching like Sylvester Stallone movies, Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. I even watched like the Van Damme, and just the seed was planted. I wanted to be strong and powerful.
Yes.
So yeah, that seed was planted. I wanted to, I was salivating. I couldn't wait to like train and work out. And I think I was maybe 10 or 11. At 10 or 11, everyone tells you, you shouldn't lift weights. Okay, fair enough, or whatever. But, my father had bought an adjustable set of dumbbells and brought it to the cottage. And I was so excited to lift those dumbbells. And
that's awesome.
And I don't know how much I was lifting. It wasn't a lot of weight, but I was doing some bicep curls. And when you're very, very young, you don't care about shoulders, you don't care about chest. All you want is the biceps,
Yep. Yep.
And so I did a set, and I could have sworn, I was like, holy shit, my arms are bigger. This works.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was the blood pump, but like my arm, I was like showing everyone, I was running around my cottage showing everyone my biceps. I'm like, look at these biceps. And I just had that positive, I had that positive feedback, and the seed was planted. I just couldn't wait to work out. Now you hear all these people, right, that start a workout program, they do it for 2 months, they fall off, they start X, Y, and Z, they fall off, okay? I understand falling off a diet, okay? If you're doing some strict diet, I understand falling off that. But when I first started working out and lifting weights, I never fell off. There wasn't a period in time where like, I'm not gonna, the only time I took time off working out, it was about 3 months. It was when I had a really bad injury. But once I started working out, there was no stopping. I loved it.
That's awesome, and that just shows like this is what it is. It's consistency. Like this is consistency. Like to get this physique, it's consistency. Years and years and years. It's the same in entrepreneurship. The same in business. You have to stay consistent. Like that's just simply what it is.
100%. And again, if you do not stay consistent, you end up taking one step forward, one step back, one step forward, one step back. If you stay consistent, you continue to make really, really good progress.
I love that. So did you go to college to learn it, like a lot of this stuff, or did you study? Like what did you?
In high school, when I finished high school, I was very ambivalent about going to college. Part of me just really felt like the path of a really great life and high amount of success was not inside college. But I kind of acquiesced, and I kind of listened to my family and social pressure, and I went to school. And I also wanted kind of that social experience. Like everyone in my high school was like excited about colleges and stuff like that. And so
it's fun. It's probably fun.
It's fun, you know. But at that age, I didn't really care too much about partying. I didn't really even, I didn't care about dating that much either. But I did go to college for 1 year, and that was it. That's all I needed. I was like, yes, this is not the path to success for me. Yeah.
Love that. So, what is your? I don't really know much about like your family life, but like, what was your upbringing like? Like, what was your upbringing like? Like, because there's the stories of like, oh, I had super successful parents, or I had nothing. You know what I mean? Like, what is your like? What? The reason I ask this is because I want to figure out what is the? Is there a root cause that creates the entrepreneurship?
Yeah. No, I understand. So my family life. My father became extraordinarily successful at some point in my childhood. He was working on his business. The money wasn't there, and at some point, he became extraordinarily successful. Epic. And yeah, we had a big family, 5 kids. My father was a very, very big impact on me. Just his mindset. He had a very, if you read these books about these success books on the mindset, he had that mindset drilled into him.
Love that.
Just massive self-belief, massive confidence, and just an incredible work ethic. Whatever you want, you can do it. And
That's motivating and inspiring in itself, right?
There. Yeah, and even there are times in my childhood when I didn't realize this until much later that there was no money, and he just had that complete self-belief. It's gonna come, and there were times when my mom was like, Michael, what are you doing? Why are you bring us the most expensive hotel, and like we did this trip. Like I think at one point I was very, very young. We went to this hotel in Florida, and my father walked in and was like, "My family's not staying here." And we went to like one of the nicest spots, and my mom's like, "You're crazy. We don't have any money." And then you came back, a deal went through. So I grew up kind of in that. As my father was really building his business and then becoming very, very successful. And that, when I was 9 or 10, I didn't know this obviously, but he got diagnosed with cancer, with leukemia. And then at 11,
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thank you. At 11, he passed away.
Sorry,
and
man.
so, yeah, that was tough. It felt like my whole world was kind of crumbling around. And I always believed that one day my father was going to show me how to become successful. So I kind of felt a little bit on my own. And then I really had that seed planted where I wanted, like that ambition was there. I wanted to learn how to become successful. His path, his mechanism was real estate, buying buildings, getting money together. And I was like, you know what? That's really what he loved. And that was something that he was very, very passionate about and something that was his highest value. And I was like, I am not, especially with him not there to show me the ropes, I'm not going to follow that path because that was his highest value. It's not mine. If I need to follow what my highest value is, and my highest value was health and fitness and transforming your physique and helping people transform. And I think that's a really, really important lesson for anyone watching. It's that it's very easy to kind of see what someone else did and try and follow that. But the most important thing you do is really understand what is your highest value. What can you do better than anyone else? And try lots of different things and learn. But when you find that skill set and something that you love doing, that you're naturally good at, that you enjoy, that's really where you can get the best results. And I had no intention of making millions of dollars in fitness. I just wanted to focus on what my highest value was, and things kind of fell into place.
Love that. Take that nugget right there, because that's true. Like, find what you're good at, and then use that to keep building, man. Well, I appreciate you opening up, man, and shout out to your pops, man. Shout out to him. That's awesome. That's truly incredible to just hear like how he impacted you, man. That's what I aspire to do to my kids. That's awesome. What I aspire to do.
Yeah,
to
that's great. You got 2 kids, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. So like I have a son and he's 4, and like I want to, because when we first had him, obviously I didn't have what I have now, but like I want to keep showing him like the work ethic, the mindset, just like the level of that, and like so like that's what I aspire to be. So I love that. So, what are some of your goals with Kinobody? Because I know you've already transformed over 1,000 people. I mean, more
hundreds
than
of thousands over over the year.
Jeez,
No, it's been insane.
Incredible.
It's been crazy. Like even when I fly into Miami, I walk out of the airport, like the guy that was working at Air Canada, like doing my there's so many people that are on these programs.
I have so many people come up to me and they're like, yeah, this is the program I follow, like all this stuff, and I'm like, man, that's incredible. I literally on my Instagram had someone shoot me a message, literally not too long ago, after you shared the story, and they were like, dude, you're having him on your podcast? That's so epic. I've been following his program. Like, he's like, he helped me lose like 50 pounds, and I was like, dude, that's awesome. So
even any girl I meet, like their ex-boyfriends, they were doing my programs, and just
how
like
does that feel? Doesn't that just feel like yes, like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that, man. I love that. So, but what's the goal with it next, man? I mean, you transformed so many people's lives, because obviously that was the original goal. What is the goal now? Like, and like you're obviously innovating very heavy right now. I can see it.
Thank you. Yeah. So we did make a massive dent or massive ripple with the the fitness programs, and hundreds of thousands of people transforming. We've had hundreds of thousands of people do my programs, and even when in 2011 when I started doing YouTube, intermittent fasting was not a thing. Everyone was like, you don't fast, it's bad for you. Don't skip a meal.
Speed up your metabolism.
If you skip a meal, your metabolism's going to slow down. You're going to lose muscle. I was actually one of the first people to really push the fasting thing when everyone was hating on it. So we made a massive ripple. There's other people that were involved in that, but like even that Bruce Wayne video I did, which has that opening scene, and I talk about, even though I just woke up, I'm not going to eat for 8 hours. That was like going completely against the grain. Now fasting,
it's a common normal thing.
It's massive, but I'm really plugged into this this hormonal issue that we're seeing right now, and men's testosterone levels being down. And when your testosterone levels are low, anxiety is increased, depression, your ability to be ambitious, even to go up and meet a girl. If your testosterone levels are lower, you get more social anxiety. You don't get the same drive. So right now, you know, we've really helped guys transform to movie star shape. We're still doing that. We're doing that on a higher level too inside our cool coaching program. But it's this Mojo has really taken off.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, I take it.
Awesome.
I
Yeah.
take it.
Yeah, we launched it in August, and then we sold out. We like tripled our production, sold out. We sold out 5 times. It's been going nuts. And I've told my followers, before you take Mojo, okay, not everyone does this. A small percentage actually will do this, but before you take Mojo, get your blood work done. Get your before blood work so you know where you are. Mm-hmm. And then 3 months after taking Mojo, get your after work. And every single person, we've had tons of people send in their blood work. We've had guys, you know, on the low end, they increased their total testosterone 100 points. We've had guys increase it 300 points. Wow. We've had guys double their testosterone, increase their free testosterone 20, 30, 50%. The biggest anomaly was actually a guy that I work with who had disproportionately low free T. So for some reason, his body was not producing enough free testosterone. Most of his testosterone was bound up. He tripled his free T from like 5 nanograms per deciliter to like 16, 5.6 to like 16. Just crazy, man.
That's crazy.
Crazy,
That's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah, testosterone decrease is very bad
Yeah,
right now. So
yeah.
I love that, man. I love that. So like obviously you're gonna keep growing that, and you're gonna keep building in that aspect.
We're gonna keep building the Mojo. The Mojo's growing. We're gonna keep doing the Mojo, and then you know, I'll probably, and this is, people have been asking me this forever, and it's time I do it, but like, people want to do my programs, Movie Star, Greek God, they want to do it on an app, so I got to put it on an app.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. So I've been fast a lot, and it wasn't for like a specific reason, but I always believed like you shouldn't eat until you earn it.
Right.
Like until you do something productive, and like that's just kind of been my thing. Like I just don't eat until unless I absolutely need it, until I earn it. Like that's just been a
and you know
huge
what,
thing for me.
it actually can train, and this is, I wasn't necessarily the hardest worker when I was younger, okay, but there's something cool that happens when you actually fast, and then you have to like earn that first meal, whether you know, maybe you want to do, like right now I just fast for the first 5 hours of the day. Mm-hmm. So I sleep until like 10, 11, so I'll eat in the late afternoon. But when you do a fast, you get very productive. You actually strengthen your dopamine system, that work reward pathway. Hey, you know, I woke up, maybe you have a coffee, you start getting work done, you get the reward, and that's training that dopamine system where you have to put work in first before you get the reward. The worst thing to do is, and even when you're making money, you become successful, even if you can buy something, you don't want to just go and buy a nice watch. You want to wait till you really accomplish something and then do it. And then that trains the dopamine system.
That's like what this gift was for me. It was like after a company that we've been working on for a long time, we built it, and I was like, okay, now I'm gonna do it. And it didn't matter how much the company made or nothing. Like I could always buy the watch, but I had to, you know, earn that reward. And so
it's so important. It's so important to do.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's the goals. You know, it's like I want to buy certain cars. It's like, okay, me and my business partner, we want to buy matching Bugattis, but we're like, okay, we have to build a certain company to a certain level, and then we'll do it as a reward, because I mean, it's all about earning and rewarding.
And that's when it kind of can make the materialism or the purchase meaningful, when you tie it to success. Mm-hmm. The worst thing is, you know, if you start making money, you start buying things endlessly, and then you're bored one day,
and
you're feeling down, now you're going to go buy a Bentley. Like, that is bullshit. You know?
It is. And like, I mean, when I first started making good money, that's actually one thing that I had to go, a phase that I had to go through in life. It's like, when you're able to buy everything, you know, you just start buying everything, and then it becomes valueless, and then it becomes valueless and all this other stuff. So it's kind of crazy.
And even if you can, it's actually good to just take a few months, take 2 or 3 months, and just kind of live on purpose lean. Non-flashy. Yes. And then after those few months, start to spend, and you will get much more excitement and dopamine. But if you're always buying the next thing, it becomes empty. It's like you ever see Pirates of the Caribbean, where they're cursed and like they can't taste wine. Everything's lost its meaning, fulfillment, the feeling of a woman touching you, the scent, it's all gone. If you just have a lot of money and just buy, and you don't pull back and stop, everything feels empty.
And I love that. And I've actually been doing a lot of research on the whole dopamine receptors, because I feel like phones can fuck up your dopamine receptors, and like everything's there. So it's like rewarding yourself, man. Like that's something I believe. So like don't forget like to reward yourself, and make sure when you set goals and you actually accomplish those goals. Like I always say, like I'm a very big believer in making sure that you actually get yourself what you said you were gonna do. I have so many friends that are like, oh, when I hit, you know, 50,000 a month or something like that, I'm gonna buy myself something like a nice Rolex. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. and then they get there and then they don't do it and they just keep building. And I'm like, no, you have to reward yourself at those levels, because if you don't, then you're not actually going to keep wanting to do it. It's gonna lose its meaning behind it.
100%. No, that's very,
Because
very true.
collecting money is like, it's not fun. I mean, it is fun, but it's not fun. Like I like to collect watches. I like to like have friends. I like to buy my friends gifts. Like that's what I like to do. So you have to do that. So what are some big goals for you financially that you are hoping to one day reach? You know, and with your company, like that's a huge one for me. Is I always ask this question is because, you know, I don't know, obviously I don't know what you make. I'm not like that's none of my business, no one's business. But like hearing people like all the time, some people are like, yo, I really want to turn my company into a 7-figure a month company, or I want to turn it into an 8-figure company, or you know, I want to do all this other stuff. So like, what are some goals for you that to a lot of people might seem outlandish, but like we all know you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
So you know it too.
Yes, we hit some big goals in the last 6 months. Some very, very kind of big milestones. And so, you know, I mean, the next obvious spot to get to is to get to like that 9-figure kind of level.
Epic, yes.
Yeah. I don't care.
Fucking
You know, yeah. You know, that's like kind of the next
That's
step.
big boy shit.
Yeah.
That's big boy shit. That's
Yeah.
big boy shit. I love that. I love that. So keeping that like in that ability to like just motivation and inspiring, and how awesome is it gonna be when you hit that?
Very, 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 very exciting.
I
for
love
sure.
that.
That will be a very massive milestone.
But do you think it'll change your life much?
Probably, yeah, probably.
You think so?
No, I mean, probably not. No.
That's what I always tell people all the
you know,
time is like everyone's like, oh, okay, you're gonna hit these goals, and then it's like, do you actually think it's gonna change your life? And it's like, not really.
And even like, and I tell people this, and I even have a little kind of like a little inner circle, and one of the most important things that most people do not do is it's very powerful to write down goals, to have goals, but you actually want to take it a step deeper and turn it into a 3D thing. You want to take one-dimensional, become three-dimensional. And so most people do not do dynamic goals. And Eckhart Tolle, actually, one of his books, A New Earth, is very profound, and it actually goes deeply.
What's the book?
A New Earth.
A New Earth by who?
Eckhart Tolle.
Okay.
He actually goes deeply into like the success principles and kind of the laws of the universe and becoming successful and abundance and inflow, outflow, and the whole, everything. And in that book, he talks about a few things, a couple really, really good things. But you want to make a goal dynamic. So if you want to just having $10 million in the bank or whatever goal that is, or being a movie star, that's not a dynamic goal. You want to create a goal, and you want to create a vision of yourself actually like sharing your vision with the world. You know, like, so for example, maybe you're at 8 figures right now, or 9, and you want to get to 9 figures. Like, your day-to-day life's not going to look much more different. You're going to be putting in, you know, you're going to be like doing your craft every single day. You're going to be leading a team. You're going to be, you know, waking up excited for your goals. And so like, you want to actually create that dynamic vision, which is immersed with people. So even like on a more simple example would be like, okay, you want to buy this beautiful beachside mansion. Okay, well, just having that vision of the mansion is not powerful enough. Imagine, you know, entertaining, having your whole family over there for Christmas, throwing parties and pool, and you know, when you can
putting yourself in the situation.
Putting yourself in the situation, making it dynamic, and then also sharing that vision with other people. You know, yeah.
Are you a big like in the power of belief and the power of, like, is that like law of attraction and stuff like that? Are you huge in that aspect?
Yeah, no, I think I am. I definitely am. I kind of have my own style.
Make yours.
For sure, but absolutely, like, it's crazy how you can apply this to any aspect of life. Yeah. Sort of the goal setting, the power of belief, the vision. Like, I'm really big on just scripting out your vision. And again, like, one of the big mistakes people make is they don't actually take the time to really determine what is the vision they want to build.
I went through a phase of life where I was like, I used to be like big onto the magic. Like, you ever heard of the book, The Magic of Believing?
Yeah.
So I read that, listened to that book every day for 3 years in a row. Every day. If you speed it up on YouTube, it's 4 hours long. And I listened, even if I was going to sleep, I listened to it every day. And I went through this whole phase, and then like when I started making really good money, like the level of money where it's like nothing mattered anymore. I went through this whole phase, and that's when I gained a bunch of weight. But like, I stopped doing that. And I stopped writing my goals down. I stopped all that stuff. One day I got up and I was like, yo, you're fucking pathetic. Get over your fucking shit. Get back to it. And I started writing goals down, just in a simple book, just writing goals. And then all of a sudden I noticed, oh my God, these goals. And then I got to check it off. And then I was like, oh wow, I had to check that goal off. And then I gave myself accountabilities and stuff like that. So.
And that's, you know what, this is a mistake I see sometimes people make, is that they create this goal, but it's so lofty and so far to sight that they never get those small wins. I've always set like goals that are
realistic.
Very realistic, attainable. Then you hit that, and then you set the bar higher. You set the bar higher. But I've seen, because a lot of people, the young people today, they just want to get somewhere, everything way too fast. And then they get discouraged and they lose interest, and then they break their dopamine system. They retrain it in the wrong way. And so it's really, really important to give yourself a pat on the, like, set those small goals, give yourself a pat on the back, and then go to the next level.
And that doesn't mean don't have the big goals. Have the big goals, but have the small ones that you can break down. I actually, so we finished a book, and essentially what it is like, I'm gonna start selling it soon. And it's a 90-day book, but it's like, like you write down, what you're thankful for every day, your accountabilities, your 5 things that you should do every day, how you do it, you break it down. We have yearly goals, half a year goals, quarterly goals, and then we have monthly goals, weekly goals, daily goals, and hourly goals. And we break it all the way down. And it's like a whole book, and we're gonna start selling it soon. So I'm pretty excited for that, but it's really badass because that you say that is because like I'm a very big believer in that too. It's like sometimes it's just like, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Like I'm like, hey, I want to get through this podcast today. That's a goal. When we get done with it, we talk, we have fun. That's a goal, right? That was a goal of mine. It's been a goal of mine for a long time to interview some of the most incredible people in the world, and you're one of them. And
Thank you,
bro. It's super awesome. So like, I say it all the time. I'm doing this selfishly to learn and meet new people and connect with people and hopefully inspire and motivate some others. So it's truly incredible. So, and taking that moment, I want to say I appreciate you just coming on, man.
Dude, I appreciate it, man. It's been awesome being on. It's cool seeing what you're up to in life. Very inspiring.
Yeah. Thank you. So now you're on this whole levels of testosterone, and I love that because like I said, I'm partnered with my own telemed health company, and we're launching very soon and all that. Cool. I'm actually on testosterone. I take Mojo as well because I want to be. And I don't know. I like the way testosterone makes me feel. I had unfortunately I had low testosterone because when I was younger, I started taking supplements at a young age to gain weight, get bigger, and all this, and then my testosterone decreased, and I was at like levels of like 500, which is pretty low. So I started doing testosterone. I'm monitored by a doctor. Everything. I get blood work I do blood work every month pretty much. Like I have a really good doctor. And so we're really excited for it. So like, what are your thoughts on TRT and these peptides and the stuff like that? Because I know right now your stuff is natural, and I love the natural side of it. But sometimes people can't get from a 300 or 400 levels of test to 900 with just natural supplements and stuff like that. Yeah.
So obviously there's certain like cases where you're gonna have to take TRT to have a high quality of life. So I have a friend that suffered a very, very bad concussion playing hockey, just got hit bad, and then just was sliding across the ice head first into the boards, and his testosterone production shut down.
Really?
Yeah, bad concussions can really mess up T levels.
Did not know that.
Yeah. So it's all connected. The brain to the testosterone production. So in that case, obviously, if his levels were only like 180, 200, then he might have. So he kind of had to. I had another friend that was really stupid. This is in Canada, but he was a high-level athlete as a young teenager, and his coach had all the kids taking steroids. And so that,
holy shit.
And so for some
that's kind of what happened. Not that level, but I was taking shit when I was younger, and then it really fucked me up.
And so everyone's a little bit different. Some people, like, so I'm sure some of the kids on his team bounced back. He didn't. And he was also a little overweight. And so when you're overweight, it actually is not good for testosterone production. Your waistline is inversely correlated with testosterone production. When you have excess body fat, it wreaks havoc on your body. But so he never bounced back, so he had to kind of go on TRT. And then, there are even some people that get hit really hard in the downstairs, and that can mess it up really badly. But again, I always recommend getting your blood work done ASAP, because
anyways.
You need to get it done, because you might actually have a head injury. You might actually get hit in the nuts and find out you're perfectly fine. Yeah. I was actually freaked out. Like, I think it was a year ago or something. I had my girl at the time. You know those massage devices, the strong ones?
Yeah.
What are they called? The
Theragun.
The Theragun, whatever. So we had one of those, and she was doing the Theragun on me, and she went on one thigh to the other thigh, but instead went right into my nuts.
Oh shit.
Bro, yeah, I didn't get a boner for like 2 weeks. Like, I was waking up with nothing.
Oh my
And I was
God.
like, fuck, you know. But I got my, you know, then after 2 weeks, I was fine. My
Went away.
body bounced back. I also had a bad concussion, but everything bounced back. But again, in some people, if it's too much, you know, it can really hurt you. So, and then also, you know, some people like genetically, it can be harder. But I think most men, if you take really good care of your health, you haven't had any serious issues, you can get your testosterone to a really good place naturally. But it's harder these days. And we've seen
The waters we drink, the chemicals in the air, and
yeah,
everything along those
I like to
lines.
do the tap water has endocrine disruptors in it. Like body wash, colognes. It even having your phone in your pocket's not great. Like, and even most underwear is actually made of like polyester synthetic. Like even the softest underwear, and that actually literally can reduce your sperm count to the point where it's even hard to conceive a child.
Really?
Yeah,
I do
people
know.
don't-
I do
yeah.
know the way the underwear is also shaped.
It's a contraceptive.
It can like push down against it, and that can actually like affect it
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, the tighter underwear if your balls get
Keeps
over
it
hot,
from
you can't.
growth too. As younger kids, like
Interesting.
wearing the whitey tighty like things.
Interesting,
Because
yeah.
what happens is it squeezes, and so it keeps it from growing.
Shit.
I've heard that many
I-
times.
we
and
always
talked
did.
about that.
My
Crazy.
brothers and I, we always did the loose boxers.
I
That was in
free
when I was.
ball.
We did the free balling. Yeah, but you know it's even
It was
yeah.
in the loose boxers were.
Yeah, even some research shows that like polyester underwear has a contraceptive effect. So it hurts your sperm count for sure. Now the effect on testosterone is probably a lot milder, but
Yeah.
again, there's so many things working against us. Even our diet these days.
Yeah.
The foods that we eat now compared to decades ago is actually not as conducive for hormonal production. We're eating less meat too, less steak, less eggs, more refined
I'm a
grains.
big steak and eggs guy.
Yeah, me too. It's very good for you.
Only grass
Yeah,
fed.
good.
The good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the nutrient content of like a strip loin or a flank steak, it is just loaded with so much nutritional value. But we're eating less meat, more refined grains, more vegetable oils, which again, like, there's a whole, you know, there's like obviously this kind of people are very kind of against, you know, the vegetable oils right now, the seed oils. Now the research is it's not as bad as people think, but for testosterone production, it's not great. So there's so many things going on in this day and age. So, you know, I recommend get your sleep on point. Like, that's the first thing. If you can get
How many hours?
I do 8. I like 8 hours, but it's also, it doesn't even like 8 hours matters, but also the quality of sleep. Like if you have a light streaming in, if you have electronics on in your room and you have like light kind of in your room, that can disrupt REM sleep. So you need quality sleep, cold, deep sleep, getting vitamin D, sunlight every day, hitting the gym hard, a few days a week. You don't want to be doing chronic training. Lots of high quality diet, keeping your body lean and strong. You know, taking the Mojo has a few key ingredients that help support your body's testosterone production, using natural products, X, Y, and Z. Like when you start doing these steps, your body can rebound. And we've had guys, I have also the Mojo Mastery Program, which is the supplement plus the steps. And we've had guys literally take their testosterone from, 500 to 700, 300 to 600. We've seen really, and then the benefit is you get more excited. And this is one benefit of testosterone is when your free testosterone is high, you get excited to work out, You get excited to push yourself. Like I see most guys in the gym, I see them, and I only work out 2 or 3 days a week, but I go hard. Like when I see people in the gym, they're like, they just finish that last rep like it's a walk in the park, and then they sit down. Like to actually produce and build an awesome physique, the sets don't look fun. Like it is work. You're pushing yourself hard. You're trying to add that rep or add the 5 pounds. So most people kind of lily-dag in the gym.
Yeah, I love that. So I mean, it's huge. So like I said,
But to answer your question, like I think that TRT can have a helpful role in some definitely some cases, and then and also like it's interesting because you can maintain very high testosterone levels longer than people think. People think, oh, after 30 your levels decline. That's more about your lifestyle. If you're very inactive, if you have these negative habits, if you actually take care of your body, you can maintain very high levels well into the 30s. 40 to 50 is more of a decline.
Yeah.
So there, I have seen people like argue like, well, at 45 or 50, maybe it makes sense to do TRT to kind of preserve the levels you had in your 20s and 30s. You know, so that's another argument. But again, like if you're on TRT, then I do know like it can hurt their fertility. So
I take stuff to make sure that I I take something called HCG.
Okay.
And it's an little oral supplement. But what it does is it makes your body produce, your testes produce natural stuff as well to keep it going.
Got it. Okay, cool. So, I still think, I think that, if you can get your body to an amazing place naturally, that's definitely, do it. And then, if you have a certain health issue or something that stops you from really getting to where you need to be to have the highest quality of life, like you do not want to have a 300 or 200 or 350 total and be stuck there. Like your quality of life is not going to be great.
I truly, because I've seen my friends take testosterone, get on testosterone, and I myself, like how I had like I said, I was in like the 400s, and it was super but like now I'm in like the 900s to 9 to 1100 range, and I just like.
What's your free at? Do you know what your free is?
I don't know right now. Currently.
Yeah, double check.
I find out. I find out Monday. I'll find out Monday. Yeah, what it is. But I mean, I don't know, man. For me, it just really helped me, and it actually like gave me that push, gave me that motivation to work out harder, to get back and do things, and so I truly love it.
And for people listening, what you're doing is very, very different than like what a lot of the fitness
outdoor.
And a lot of the fitness bodybuilders will do. They'll do very, very high doses. So 2, 3, 4 times higher than what you're doing.
Yep.
They'll combine it with different anabolics and different compounds. So taking 3, 4, 5 different things.
Yep.
And that is when it becomes extremely harmful for your body.
Yeah. So I'm like I said, I'm in the doctor. I get IVs twice a week. I do ozone once a month, which is blood filtration system. Like basically they pull the blood out, they clean it, and put it back in you. I do that as well. So I'm a very, very big believer. Like I spend a lot of money on my body every single month to just make sure that I'm super healthy and like make sure I'm good and I eat good. Like I said, if I could cut the drinking back, it would probably be a little better. But I'm working on that one. But
what else has been like the most helpful thing you've done for your health?
Honestly, I would say
of all those different therapies.
Like you mean like of all the different therapies?
Yeah. If you had to do
IVs.
one,
IVs.
IV, okay, nice.
IVs. Direct vitamins to your bodies, like every day, is a very, very huge thing. So I do probably 2 IVs a week.
2, okay, wow.
Yeah, I do like straight, and I do like glutathione.
Glutathione's great, man.
Yeah, I do B12 as well. I do, pretty much all the essential vitamins that you need.
And even as you age, and if you drink alcohol, your glutathione levels can really get depleted.
Yep.
And it's very, very hard to get glutathione in your diet, so that makes sense.
Like, that's a huge thing that I have noticed that I would say like makes a tremendous.
It's good
difference.
For anti-aging too. Yeah.
It's huge.
We're hitting an IV after this.
Let's do it.
We're doing an IV. We're doubling up the glutathiones.
I love it, man.
Mojo and glutathione.
Let's roll with it. So that's been a huge thing for me though. But like I like really do like. Also, have you ever heard of Eboo, the machine?
No.
Okay, so it's a very expensive machine, but it is literally one of the best things. So my wife, she got really sick about a month and a half ago. She had something rupture in her stomach, and the fluid actually like leaked into her stomach, causing a massive infection, and like with her gut, her pretty much all the parts of a woman, like everything, like a massive like bacterial infection because of all that stuff. Because of the leakage, and we put her on a very intensive IV program with Eboo machine, and Eboo, like literally, it's one of the best like things, and they take your blood out and they clean it, and they can actually pull blood clots out, they can pull the gunk, they can pull mold, metals, everything out of your blood, and they clean it, oxidize it, and put it right back in you. She went on a heavy program with that, and in 3 weeks, like gone.
How do you spell it?
I think it's EBOO.
Interesting.
And it's a very, very, look into it. It's crazy. It's one of the best things you can do. My doctor right now, currently, he has a patient that flies in, and he has Lyme's disease. Couldn't move, couldn't walk, nothing. 3 sessions, and he's already able to, like 70% movement.
And you do it too?
I do it once a month.
Okay, wow.
Once a month, and it is one of the best things you could ever do. NAD, methane blue, all those stuff, oh my God. But it's expensive, so it's hard for people to get it. Like, the Eboo machine, like, typically costs, like, I think it's like $2,000 a session. But, like, not most people can afford that, right? Yeah. So it's really expensive, but look into it, man. I'm telling you, your mind's gonna be fucking blown. The way science is nowadays, it's absolutely insane. It's fucking crazy. It's incredible. And you can actually cure people of a lot of shit. Like, I've seen our doctor do some crazy things.
Great. I'll check it out.
You should, man. Because like that's why. Because the reason I'm talking about this is because like it's part of the testosterone, it's part of the peptides, it's part of all this stuff, and I'm really starting to get involved in this space, in this industry, because of like how bad I felt and how bad I've seen my wife go through. Like she couldn't stay awake for more than 2 hours at a time. Like she physically could not stay awake for not 2 hours at a time.
Shit.
In 3 weeks, she's literally completely a different a new person, a new human.
Yeah, no, that's insane for the quality of life.
Awesome.
That's
It is. And then IVs are like when you take IVs. You ever done IVs?
Yeah.
So like when you start getting on that regular program, it's incredible. Like it truly
I haven't been
changed my life.
consistent with it. I've done it a handful of times, but
try it. Start doing it just once a week.
Yeah.
Start with once a week, and oh my God, your energy levels.
Which cocktail do you do? Do you do
my doctor has a very, very specific cocktail.
Sick.
He's out here in Miami. I will put you guys in touch.
I'll do it.
He's a very, very specific cocktail, and it's one of the best cocktails.
Awesome.
He does like he's a fucking genius. He actually has one, and it's this cocktail. And if he does it fast, he's actually given men and women orgasms because of the amount of vitamins it's putting in your body.
Shit.
Like literally an orgasm on the spot. Like crazy. And I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, because all the vitamin pushes in you. Because most people are lacking all this, and that's why they can't have that emotional connection.
I remember when I did an IV, and I did it with like an old girlfriend of mine, and like my veins soaked it up. Literally, it's supposed to take like 45 minutes. I was done in like 12 minutes, and like my girl like took her like the whole 45 minutes. My veins just.
Yep. It's because your body, like, no matter what you say, like, and not to mention it's direct source. Like taking a pill, like I don't mind it, especially if they're natural. But like taking natural vitamins, you're only absorbing technically like vitamin like C. People don't realize like the reason they're giving you such high dosages is because your body's not absorbing it all. They have to give you such high dosage, and then it has to go through your liver, it has to go through all that to process it. So pretty crazy, man. But I love it, man. So there's a lot of videos about vaping.
Yeah.
What's the deal with this? I mean, I don't, but like, tell me.
Vaping is trash. Anyone that's watching this podcast, you're sucking on a little vape, just throw it out right now. Never do it again. It's going to suck for a week, and you'll never even think about it, okay? Maybe if you're out drinking, you saw lots of vape, you may be tempted, but stop it. Stop it right now. It is one of the worst things you can do for your health, okay?
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, it's not like you're just inhaling vapor. Like that heating process creates lots of chemical byproducts, endocrine disruptors. It's bad for your airways. It's airway irritants. It's bad for your endocrine function. It is just trash. And I'm not really as worried about the nicotine, right? I'm not as worried about the nicotine, although nicotine is a vasoconstrictor, restricts blood vessels. There's even some kind of research or showing that even nicotine can decrease flaccid penile size. I think there was some research on that. But in any case, I'm not even worried about the nicotine. I'm worried about the actual chemicals that you're taking and ingesting into your lungs multiple times a day. And like, it's not like most people that buy nicotine pens, it's not like they're hitting it once a day. They're hitting it non-fucking stop.
Yep.
It is trash. If your friends do it, stop hanging out with them till they quit. If your girl's hitting it, just say, hey, we're not hanging out. If you're going to be sucking on that pen, just cut the cord. No, like if I take a girl out to a nice restaurant and she pulls that shit out, I'm like, I'm out. I'm gone. I'm not
out.
Fucking putting up
Bye,
with that.
Felicia.
I'm like, hey, you know what?
I love that.
Hey, Bill, nice to meet you. Dude, it's got to stop. This younger generation is obsessed with it.
Yes,
going to a nightclub now, you know what it is? You're standing around a table and it's just all you just like it has to stop. I actually have helped many people stop because I put out these kind of videos that went viral on vaping, and people sent them around, and then like I've had a lot of people tell me, oh, I quit, like I stopped it.
That's awesome.
So yeah, even
fight the vaping battle.
fight just quit, okay? It's not just set. And here's the biggest thing about behavioral change and transformation, whether you want to, whether you're letting yourself go and you want to get in amazing shape, whether you're being lazy, you're not making the kind of money you want to make, whether you have this sort of negative health behavior, it all comes down to standards. You need to have strong standards for yourself and who you are. And that's also why I stay in really good shape. I stay lean. For me, putting on muscle and having some size is not hard. For me, staying at a low body fat year round is more of the challenge. But I have standards. My standard is being very lean. Okay, you need to have the standard. Your standard should not be sucking on a chemical stick all day long, and putting that crap into your body. And the people that are doing it for a high amount, day after day, month after month, year after year, they're having pretty bad health consequences. Like anecdotally, I know quite a few people that are friends of people that are just having health issues from doing that. So just stop it.
Love that.
Just stop it. That's it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Super epic.
I'm glad. He's throwing it out. He threw it out.
I love that. Yeah.
Just, you know what?
I looked at him because I was like, because he's quit a few times, and then he goes back to it. And I honestly, I mean, like, I get the appeal to it, but like, I smoke cigars. Not all the time, but like once a month, or no, probably like once every 2 weeks. I'll smoke a cigar.
Right,
but it's like real, authentic, like tobacco. It's not like the bullshit like cigarettes. It's like actual real cigar. But I mean, I do that. But like, I've never been a vapor. I never bought a vape. Never
Do not buy a vape. Do not hit it during the day. Like, quit it. You know, I had my last girlfriend. Like, when I was hanging out with her, she was doing it. And she quit it. Like, it's just awesome. Have the strong frame. You know, the strongest frame wins. If you have a strong frame where it's just like, this is not acceptable, then, you know.
Change the narratives. Change the narrative.
Yeah.
I love it. So how has Instagram and YouTube and all that helped your business? As obviously I know it has, because that's how you go viral. And how are you maintaining that level of keep going viral? Like, what are your tips to us for entrepreneurship, to build more of a social media? Because I own a lot of companies, and we all have social medias, and we've done pretty well with them. Yeah. We've never gotten to the millions of followers on any of the companies, and you have multiple millions. What's some advice you can give me? Because we're doing good. I mean, I'm growing pretty fast right now. We have companies that in 3 months have hit 50,000 organic followers, 50 to 100,000 followers. But how do we get to that million?
Yeah.
How do I get to the milli, dog?
The 1 mil. So I'll tell you what it is. But first of all, YouTube, when I was younger, when I was 23, 24, 25, YouTube drove the most amount of revenue into my business.
Okay.
And I was also when I was more consistent on YouTube. But now I find Instagram more powerful. Like, Instagram really crushes.
I find it really powerful too.
Yeah, it's just you can build, I find, a much tighter connection with your audience with the stories. You can put out like little posts. So I actually find Instagram to be more powerful, at least for me. But YouTube can also be very good. But it's more like on a day-to-day basis, I do find Instagram more powerful. What's the key to growing? It's not easy to grow these days, okay? It's really not. It's gotten way harder than it was years ago. Mm-hmm. You have to kind of find that thing. You got to find you got to test out lots of different things and really find what works well for you. So, I mean, for example, like, a lot of times my Instagram is pretty flat, and then we just grow. The thing that makes me grow the most is punching this rubber dummy in my backyard. Yeah, I have a Bob. He's a rubber dummy.
Yeah, I can tell me of your videos I've seen doing that.
Yeah, and if I beat the shit out of him for 15 seconds, like, it's not just punching him like I'm training. It's more like, this guy fucked me over, and I'm about to destroy him. It's like it's a different. When I do that, it gets like, I have a Bob video going viral right now, and it's at like over 4 million views, and my followers jumped up 20, 30,000 in a couple days. But so you got to find that thing that people can't turn away from. And there's tons of different examples. You got to stand out because everyone's posting right now. You're competing with millions of people, so you have to find something for you to stand out.
Find what fits you and what you can do sustainably and what you can keep rolling with. I love that.
Exactly. And the Reels, obviously, right now, the Reels are definitely the way to grow. Instagram posting photos is kind of dead.
I had a huge Reel engagement for like a few months, and then they took away my verification. I basically told someone to fuck off. And Instagram didn't like that. I told some people to fuck off and all this shit, and I called a bunch of people pussies because they were being pussies. Yeah. And I had a few videos go like crazy viral, and they like didn't like it. Not crazy viral, but like up in the millions, and like they didn't like it what I was saying, right? So they did that. They took away my verification. They unverified me. Like me, they allow thousands and thousands of fake profiles of me.
Right.
But they take away my verification.
No,
that's crazy.
Dude. Jesus.
So that happened and all that.
You just told a random person to.
Well, not a random person. He was commenting on my shit, and like I'll have to show you. I'll show you. I'll show you after. But I basically just told him to fuck off and all that stuff, and it was crazy. They took away everything from me on that, and then all of a sudden my Reels now, like, I went from like 250,000 views, like 200,000, 50,000, 100,000, like like natural all the time. Now for like the last like month, it's been like I can't even get over 15,000.
We got to get that fixed. We got to get that solved.
I don't know what it
Yeah.
is, but I have like notifications on the bottom of my stuff that like everything I have is very, very like they're pretty much telling me like, hey, you can't do this again, or you can't do this, or you can't do that. So I have like very, very limited right now. So it is what it is. But oh well, it'll be fun.
We got to find you a little connection to solve that.
Yeah, I have a few people that I'm working with right now, and I mean like it was going really well. Like we were fucking crushing it, and then all of a sudden that happened, and then it's pretty bad. So I love
This
it. Man.
that can be solved, I think, for sure.
Oh, it can be.
Yeah.
I love it though, man. Well, we're about running out of time. We've been about an hour, but we're looking good. He keeps giving me. He's like, "You're good," but you know, it's getting a little long. Getting a little long. So, real quick, that camera right there. Can you give our audience a tip, some advice, some life guidance? And do it in. I like to say this. Do it in 2 sentences or less. Putting you on the spot.
Oh, that is putting me on the spot.
Less than 2 sentences. Life, motivation, inspiration, and look directly in that camera.
Yeah. Get your fitness solved. When you get your fitness in a great place, everything else improves.
Love that. Love that. I was straight to the point. I've heard that many, many times. I asked Rob Bailey one time. I said, "What is the number one thing to being a successful entrepreneur?" He said, "Fitness is the foundation." If you can be dedicated to your work, if you can be dedicated to your body, your health, and your mental, and everything else will align with it. So I love that. And then,
Absolutely.
And honestly, you know what's the craziest part is that what I've actually noticed as of recently, I started interviewing a lot of these entrepreneurs that are like big on Instagram, growing, successful. They're all fitness. They're all fitness based. It's turned into a fitness based almost podcast because, and it's true. Like when I started getting my health and fitness in shape, my improvement, everything just grew.
Yeah, I built
But I
that.
need to get back on the program.
Exactly. You build that confidence and self-belief in the gym with your body. You have more energy, more drive. Then you take that. You learn that hey, if you put in the work, you can improve your life. You can improve your body. You take that, you apply it to the next thing.
I love that. And can you tell them where everyone can find you if they're not already following you? Because they probably are, most likely are. But you know, we're also going to share your website for your company down below.
Awesome.
So if you can, just tell them where to find you and your websites.
Yep. On Instagram, it's Greg Ogallagher, and my website is Kinobody.com, Kino body.com. That's where all my stuff is, the Mojo. We have it all on Kinobody.com.
Let me actually tell you what one of my favorite products that you had was
Yeah.
the collagen protein.
Yes.
Fucking number one is delicious.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. And I actually noticed like the muscle gains the best actually when I was taking that.
Hell yeah. No, collagen's got some really, really good benefits. It's great for the joints too, the skin, hair, nails. And I actually like to mix it with Greek yogurt.
Really?
Plain Greek yogurt, and it tastes like chocolate pudding, vanilla pudding.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that. I'm going to have to try that next time.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try
sliced
that.
bananas, mix it with some Greek yogurt, throw in the sliced bananas, and it's like the most tasty thing ever.
Love that. And I am going to say, go check out his products because it's honestly, the Kino Brain for me was a very good one too. I noticed like my mental was because I used to take Adderall. And actually when I stopped taking Adderall and started taking Kino Brain, and it helped a lot.
Hell yeah, bro. We got some cool stuff. We got a couple little new formulas we're going to probably put out there in the next few months. But no, I just make what I want.
Which you would take. The
Yeah,
stuff that you would
exactly.
take. I love that, man. I love that. So, well, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you coming on, bro. It's been a blast. It's been super fucking awesome. This is one of the craziest podcasts I've ever been. I'm so honored and so blessed. And I just want to say thank you guys for supporting as well, showing love. But make sure when you're sharing love, you're sharing this video, you're commenting, liking, and subscribing. And make sure that notification bell is on because you definitely want to be notified when these podcasts are dropping because they're fucking gangster. And I get to interview some of the craziest, baddest motherfuckers in the world. So I appreciate it, bro. And let's keep going.
Hell yeah.
Peace.
Start when we stop, we gon' get it done. Get it when we start, we gon' get it done. Start when we stop, we gon' get it done. Anthony's World.